Let's talk about headers and source files. This is our first steps to making our own library. And to make it work, I made my own library. So first, we've got our header file. The thing ends in a .h. This is library.h. That's the one you include if you want to use this stuff in your library. And the libraries generally have 3 things in them. It's a bit gray, but let's say 3 things. It's usually got something called function prototypes. Prototypes are just like the function header, and that says that, hey, somewhere below or in another file, these functions exist. Look for them. It's not an error. And so we've done that. So header files do not contain the function definitions, just the function prototype saying, hey, these exist. Look for them in my source file. They can also have constants that you want to be able to use everywhere. They're public constants, so you'd be able to use this constant in anything that includes this file. And you also have class definitions. So this is how you define a class in C++. So we've got a class called person, and then all the public variables and functions are declared under the public colon. And in this case, I got a constructor that takes one parameter, their favorite number that you want to set it to, and a little getter that gets their number, and a setter that sets their favorite number. And secretly, in private, it has a variable called favorite number, which these guys either tell you or mess with. And that's it. Now, you might have been wondering, hey, what's this weird preprocessor garbage going on here? Now, one of the big things that's easy to screw up with including things is you can accidentally include stuff more than once, which you'd think would be hard, but if you've got if you include simple math library up here, and then you included another library that also included the simple math library here, it would run into trouble. So all this, all the hash stuff here is called an include guard, and it just protects you from including it more than once. Basically what it's saying is, hey, if this simple math library H constant is not defined, then do everything till the end if. And the first thing it does is define that thing, define that constant. And what that does is it means that if you include this, you can include it 100 times, only the first time will actually do anything. Because afterwards, this function is already, or this constant's already declared. And so it'll be like, hey, if not defined, that constant, but it is defined, so the whole thing's false, and this whole include file does nothing if it's already been included. And that just stops the errors. It's a very, very good idea. It's default code. Yeah. So again, header files, we got function prototypes, which say, hey, there are definitions for this in my source file or further down below in the code. We've got constants that you want to be available everywhere, and class definitions. Notice we don't actually say, we don't actually go into how the functions of that class work. That is another place for the source file. So in the source file, notice we're including our header as well. And we got this funny syntax, which says, hey, of the person class, the person constructor, and then aside from that, it's a lot like Java, so hopefully it looks kind of familiar. So it just creates a new person object and sets their favorite number to whatever you put in the brackets. And this thing again has got this funny notation again. So hey, a function of the person class called getNumber, and then aside from that, it's just like Java. It just returns whatever the person's favorite number is. And then set number, same thing. We got this funny syntax which says it's of the person class, but aside from that, it's like Java. It doesn't have a return type. It just sets their favorite number to whatever you put in the brackets. And then we also declare our super complicated add function and subtract function. That's it. Source files tend to have all the function definitions for everything. That's it for now. See you next time.